Hi everyone, this is Niki Rowland and today I have a layout for Shimmerz. I am using the October Color Kitz. It's quite Halloween feel. It could certainly be autumn, but I've decided to go for Halloween because I love Halloween. So we absolutely love it in our family. We always dress up and do photos and always go trick-or-treating and generally do lots and lots of spooky activities. So this was ideal for me. Okay, so I'm starting off by just getting all of the colours in the colour kit and putting them onto a scrap piece of card. You can see that's a piece of card that I've used for a cut file previous time. So I'm just painting a little bit of each colour onto the cardstock so that I've got a reference and see how the paint looks when it's actually painted rather than when it's in the bottles, because it can be a little different when it's actually on like white paper or white card. So I just did that there. I actually decided to use just 3 colours from this kit. Now the reason for that was because of the colours in my photo. Normally I use all the colours from the colour kit, but this time I've only used 3, so it's a bit unusual for me, but I really love the effect. It's very, very striking. So my initial plan was I'm going to use that cut file, that fabulous funky fun cut file. I've got this feeling inside my bones that is with the colour kit, and I'm planning to create a big area of colour directly onto my cardstock there. You can see it there. How striking does that look? I've literally just sprayed it directly on with those 3 colours. And my plan was to have like a shelf going across the middle of the page and the cut file sitting on top. Well, anyway, that all went a bit wrong. And as you can see here, I've moved on a bit and I sprayed some more. Sorry that it's moved on so much without me showing you how I did that top part. I forgot to turn the camera on. I went to turn it off when I went to dry it and I was like, oh, I didn't turn it on, whoops. So anyway, I literally did exactly what I did for the bottom half. I sprayed it with the 3 colours. So the 3 colours I've used are Plum Pudding, Love, Ocean, number 9, and then Top of the Morning. So I've used those 3 colours and I literally sprayed them directly onto my page. If I had sprayed from far away, they would have the coverage would have been much, much wider, but I sprayed very close so that I knew exactly where my spray would be. And then I have this really intense area of colour, super duper striking. And I love those 3 colours together. They are ace. They are really, really fab. I just love them. So I'm mounting this layout onto a piece of black cardstock. So I've trimmed my card down to, I think it's about 11 inches or maybe 11¼ inches. That's the white, and I'm going to mount it onto a piece of 12 by 12 black cardstock, distress the edges, and now I'm putting baker's twine in this corresponding 3 colours over each one of the coloured stripes. So I was kind of aiming for mummy wrapping, but in colourful threads. Not sure I quite achieved that. I probably should have done a few more than what I did, but I didn't want to cover up too much of the fabulous colours that I achieved for the background there. So I've just gone for 3 strands? Yeah, 3 strands of each colour. So I've got a purple and white over the purple section, black and white over the black section, and teal and white over the teal section. So yeah, so you can see how I'm doing it randomly, crisscrossing, securing on the back with tape, and just kind of going a little bit kind of crazy there. Yeah, so it was just a bit of a fun thing to add over the top of my colours in the background. So yeah, I really love the look, and then I'm going to put my cut file on top of that colour, the colour area of colour. So normally I would back a cut file or I would fill in the letters with something, but on this occasion I'm going to leave them empty. So I've cut the cut file in black, and that corresponds really well with the black border my layout's getting. It also feels very Halloween, so I've cut it there in black, and it's just going to sit there on top of all that fabulous colour, so the colour shines through the cut file as well as around the outside as well. So yeah, so I'm now just going to work out exactly what I'm going to do with the rest of this layout. I've got my photos going to go bottom right, but I need to put some other things on as well. I've pulled out a couple of Bramble Fox acrylics from the new Halloween sets they've got. So one says Wicked, and that's in purple, so it's going to go on the purple section, and one says Haunting, which is in teal, so that's going to go on the teal section. So they were ideal, so they're definitely going to adorn my layout. Right now I've decided that I'm going to raise up my title or my cut file on foam pads. Now, this sounded like a good idea at the time. I thought it was a good idea. However, my cut file I cut quite small, so my lines around the outside edges of my letters are quite thin. So therefore it was quite challenging to put lots and lots of foam pads on the background of the, without being seen, on the lines of the letters, on the outlines. So it was a little tricky, and I think you can definitely see them if you look at a slight angle. If you look face onto the layout, it looks fine. You might see a little bit here and there, but on the whole it's okay. But I do like my cut files to be raised. It gives dimension to the layout, it adds depth to the cut file, gives you lots of nice shadows. So I wanted to raise it. Also, of course, I had the baker's twine going across as well, so that was an extra level. I wanted it raised up because of that. I wouldn't have been able to stick it flat because I would have had these lines going through it from the baker's twine. So yeah, raising on foam pads is what I've done. You can see it there. It looks really striking, doesn't it, against that really bright, intense background. And the twine over the top just gives a bit of a different look. Okay, so I've got my photo bottom right. That's going to go there. It's going to stay there. The little skeleton on the cut file, it just dangles over the top of my photo. It's almost like he's sitting on the top edge of my photo, which is quite cute. And so now I have to figure out what on earth to do with the rest of this layout. So because I have so much colour on the background and it's a feature rather than like an area to build on top of, I want to keep as much of it on show as possible. So here I am digging through my old Halloween collections. So I've got some, I don't think there's anything from this year. I think there's some bits from last year and lots from before that. So generally I don't keep collections that are, in quote marks, old. I tend to work pretty current. I might have last year's something in my stash, but generally I don't keep older stuff. But I do make an exception for Halloween and Christmas. I tend to hold on to anything that is kind of generic Halloween or generic Christmas, and I hold on to those because we can always use them, because they go with they all go together, really, don't they? So so yeah. Okay, so I've just mounted my photo onto an old scrap of paper. I believe it's by Pretty Little Studio. It was an Ashley Horton collection, I believe. Good few years ago, that one. And I've got that Beware banner, which I think is from Hey Pumpkin, which was crepe paper last year, although they've re-released it this year. And right now I'm cutting out some ghosts. They are from this year's collection, so Spooky by Pebbles. There's a whole sheet of ghosts, really cute ghosts. I really like them, actually. So I'm just cutting out a few, and they are, I think it's this year's. It might not be. I might be wrong about that. It might be last year's. Anyway, very cute sheet of ghosts. So I'm just cutting them out, and then I'm going to have them flying around the background, basically. So they're going to be flying all over my colourful background. So yeah, I'm just cutting them out. I want them kind of floating. I want them all kind of facing towards the middle of the layout. That one, there's one big one that's bothering me. That I put him top right at the moment, but I don't like him in the end. I think he gets binned because he wasn't right. All the others were floating in a direction, and he was just standing up straight. So he got ousted. I'm afraid he didn't make the ghost cut. Right. Okay. So I am now going through some very old ephemera and working out if there's anything that I can use that's in these colours. Now, of course, traditional Halloween collection and colours have orange, green and black. So purple makes an appearance, but teal not so often. So I had to rummage around and see what I could find. So I didn't find anything in teal apart from that haunting word that's at the top there. But I've found a few bits of purple. Now, I know purple does appear in some Halloween collections, but hasn't done recently. So these are pretty old die cuts, yeah, there were a few bits. So I've just pulled out a star. I've pulled out a little banner that says Happy Halloween. It's an arrow, sorry, that says Happy Halloween. And then I've got the word boo, and then I've got a little thing, a semicircle that has 3 bottles of potions on, one of which is purple. So I've managed to find all of those. Right now I'm sticking down those acrylic words, and they're popping off the page because I have the baker's twine. I also have a warped background because of my mixed media. So I'm just putting some weights on there. So that's why there is a sellotape dispenser there and a punch. So they are holding down my acrylics to make sure that they bond with the page, which, as I say, is a bit warped, so they do need some extra help there. Okay, so bottom right of my photo, I've added one of these super duper cute pom-poms that were included in the colour kit. I've also added a black cat, which is an acrylic, again from Bramble Fox. Top right, I've added a Frankenstein head, and then a ghost, and then one of the dots that was included in this month's kit. So 2 of the dots were orange, one was orange and one was purple and orange, and they didn't go with this layout because, of course, I haven't used orange on this layout. I've used black, teal and purple, but the middle one was a black not flare, dot with a white ghost, so that was perfect. So I've just tucked that in over on the right hand side at the top. Okay, so I'm still going with my little ghosts and just trying to work out if I need to put anything else on this layout. I'm worried about overdoing it. I don't want to put in on loads, and I wanted my ghosts to be randomly flying around the layout, so I'm just trying to get those in place, and then I don't want to start overwhelming them. I already have a cluster top right with the Frankenstein head and the ghost dots, so I'm just trying to be careful about not overwhelming the rest or overloading the rest of the layout. So just a few bits here and there. I wanted most of my layout, effectively, my photo cluster, to be underneath the cut file. I didn't want to crowd the cut file, so I wanted most things to be underneath. So I'm just spreading out that line going horizontally across the page. I've got my big photo on the right, and then I'm just bringing in other embellishments over towards the left hand side as well. So that little skeleton, he came with a face, but the face cut out completely of by the way, because it's a cut file, so the outline of the head was cut out, and then the face details were in the cut out part. Now, because I cut it out quite small, normally I would poke those bits out and stick them on. Because the face was quite small, they were really too fiddly to stick on. So I got the head, I poked the bits out and discarded them, and then I used the face as a template. So I put it back inside the skeleton's head, and then drew into the dots with a black journaling pen. So I got the face detail. So he's got 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. So now we can see where he's going, which is really good. Okay, so I'm now trying to figure out if I need to do anything else. I wanted to extend the line going across the middle. Obviously, there's a bit of a half and half going on, with the half section at the bottom is all of the photo and things, and then at the top is the cut file. So I've just put a scattering of wood veneer stars all along the middle section, and then I'm painting them with the same corresponding colours of paint. So I tend to stick on my wood veneer first and then paint it with a paintbrush directly out of the bottle. So that's what I've done there. I'm just doing that now, and adding a few splatters at the same time as well on those same sections. The splatters don't show up too well. I'm not sure why. Maybe I didn't put enough on, or maybe it's just because the colour is so intense already that they can't show up. I think I just didn't put enough on. But a few splatters, and then of course those fabulous stars. Okay, and I think that is me done. So thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this slightly crazy Halloween layout using the October Color Kit. It was really fun to make. I do love Halloween. I know I said that earlier, but give it a go and have some fun with this kit. I could make loads more as well with these colours too. Don't forget that if you place an order via the Shimmerz store, enter my name in the comments to receive a freebie. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. That was Niki Rowland for Shimmerz Paints.